Please subscribe to my channel to help me grow. The moment her message buzzed onto my screen, something inside me snapped so hard it felt like a physical crack in my chest. Just having coffee with a friend, she wrote, as if the words were harmless, as if they didn't scrape against the raw place inside me where doubt had been quietly rotting for months. My pulse spiked. My fingers trembled. And before I could stop myself, I fired back the message that would change everything. Ask him how his wife likes the photos. For 10 full seconds, the world froze. My phone didn't vibrate. No reply came. The silence was so thick it felt like the air had weight. I had expected rage, denial, maybe a flurry of excuses. Instead, nothing. That nothing hit me harder than any confession could have. I stood in the kitchen, staring at the half-burnt toast in the pan, the faint smell of smoke drifting through the room. That smell mixed with the metallic taste of panic in my mouth. I swallowed hard, feeling my throat tighten. She must have known. She must have realized what I meant. The photos weren't mine. They belonged to the husband of the woman she said she barely knew. A woman she once described as just someone I ran into at the gym. But the husband had messaged me 3 nights earlier. He said he had stumbled across pictures, intimate, close, unmistakably familiar, sent from my wife, stored under a hidden album on his wife's phone. He hadn't attacked me. He hadn't shouted. He sounded broken, defeated, like a man who had stopped believing in his own story long before he called. I thought maybe you should see this before I confront her, he whispered. I don't want to be alone in this. I remembered his voice vividly now, echoing in my mind like a haunting. My phone vibrated. Her message arrived in a single line. Where are you? Not what photos. Not what are you talking about. Just where are you? A cold shiver crawled up my spine. I typed back. Home. 10 minutes later her keys scraped against the front door. She stepped in, hair slightly windblown, clothes too neatly arranged for someone who was supposed to be casually having coffee. Her eyes were wide, searching the room with frantic uncertainty. You saw something, she said quietly. Tell me what you think you know. Her voice wasn't defensive. It was cautious, deliberate, like someone navigating thin ice. That shook me more than yelling ever could. I handed her my phone, opened to the message thread with the husband. I watched her face as she read, her breath catching, her lips tightening, her eyes blinking back tears she seemed determined not to let fall. I wasn't planning anything, she whispered. It just happened. It wasn't supposed to go anywhere. I felt my stomach twist. But it did. She didn't answer. She didn't need to. Her silence was its own confession. I didn't send him those photos for him, she said after a long pause. I sent them because I felt invisible here. The words sliced through me. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to shout. But instead I felt a crushing, suffocating ache. Because beneath all the betrayal, a small, painful part of me understood exactly what she meant. I missed us, she continued. I kept trying to reach you, and you kept slipping further away. I stared at her, realizing that somewhere along the line, the two of us had stopped talking, even when our words had never stopped. And instead of telling me, I said, voice breaking, you told him. Her tears finally spilled. I'm sorry, she whispered. But I don't know if sorry is enough. Neither did I. The shock wasn't only in her betrayal. It was in the quiet, devastating truth beneath it. We had both abandoned the relationship long before she crossed the line. She just crossed it first. And in that moment, I understood something painful and final. Sometimes infidelity doesn't destroy a relationship. It exposes that the relationship was already gone.